So how do we increase the value of a shopping center? We do that by improving and increasing net operating income, or what we call NOI. NOI is defined as revenues minus expenses. Let's focus first on revenues. Number one, we can fill vacancies. A shopping center has 1 vacancy, 5 vacancies, 10 vacancies. We can go and lease out to national tenants, to quality tenants, to fill in that space. And so if a space is 10,000 feet and the revenues paid by that tenant is $10 a foot, that's $100,000 a year that increases net operating income. Second, you trade out weak tenants for higher rent payers. So you've got a 10,000 square foot tenant paying $10 a foot. They're at the end of the term. They close, you find another tenant paying $20 a foot, $200,000 of revenue versus $100,000. You've just increased your NOI. Third, there's some vacancies or opportunities in the common area to do what is called specialty leasing. That's short-term rentals, local mom and pop, short-term, usually less than a year, tenants. And the goal is to convert these short-term tenants into long-term tenants, and that's the goal of specialty leasing. The fourth way to improve revenues, you can do events, you can do sponsorships, you could do vending, you could do storage, other ways, advertising, to get a little bit more or a lot more revenue out of your real estate. 5, you can optimize tenant mix to drive more value. You have a retailer that is non-grocery. You replace them with a grocery store. And a grocery store tenant paying the same revenues is valued more in the marketplace than a non-grocery store tenant on average. Or you can get an investment grade tenant to replace a weaker tenant. Investment grade tenant would be TJ Maxx. They could come in, replace a weaker tenant, and your revenue stream, which might be the same with both tenants, is valued more in the marketplace. 5 ways to increase revenue. Let's look at the expense side. 3 ways to reduce expenses. Number 1, you can become more efficient. An example is lighting. You can replace inefficient incandescent or fluorescent lighting with LED lighting. So you get dramatically more lumens, more lighting output with lower costs. Number 2, you focus on a very careful and tight budgeting and cost monitoring system. You look at every single expense and you analyze, do we need to spend this? And if so, what should that be? And then every month you analyze, if I was supposed to spend $500 on that expense item and it came in at $525, why? Third way, if you convert a mall to an open air center, you create value in 2 ways. 1, your expenses go down. What kind of expenses go down? All of the common areas on the inside, your lighting, your maintenance costs, your custodial, your security costs, your personnel costs are eliminated. So your expenses go down, which means your revenue goes up. In addition, the way the markets value NOI changes as well. An enclosed mall is valued at a mid-teens cap rate, about a 15% yield plus or minus. So if you have $1 million of net operating income on a shopping center, that's valued at about $7 million. But let's say you convert it to an open air center and you eliminate $500,000 of expenses on the inside, that $1 million goes to $1.5 million. And open air centers are valued at a 9 cap. That's worth about $16 million. 16 minus 7 means you've increased value by $9 million. Now there's a cost to converting an enclosed mall to an open air center. The key is, can you do it for dramatically less than $9 million? If you can, then that's accretive to value. Final thoughts. How do you maximize the value of a shopping center? Increase NOI, or you increase the quality of the net operating income, or you do both. And you increase NOI by focusing everything you can on revenues, increasing the quality of your tenants. And second, you've got to be fierce about expenses. What can you do to reduce expenses item by item, month by month, and you got to be fierce. And if you do both, you maximize net operating income and the value of your shopping center.